Hi, in this video, we will focus on the iOS app PhotoMath. You can download PhotoMath for free with your iPhone from the application store. Once you do so, you'll be able to open the application, and you can see at the bottom here, PhotoMath. Open it up, and then you have two views. This view is where you can input problems manually. And in the camera view, you can have the camera select or use your camera to select problems for the application to solve. So let's take a look at this worksheet with math problems. And so we can see PhotoMath was able to take a picture of 8 plus 8 and give us an answer. From there, if we want to see steps or any steps that would be provided, we would click on this arrow, the red arrow. Okay, and as you can see, PhotoMath will gather information sometimes that's not necessary or that it does see, as you could just see a few moments ago. But now we're back on our problem, 8 plus 8. And at the bottom, the red box, so we have the answer, there's an arrow key on the right that we would click. Okay. And then for this, you just see 8 plus 8, and the PhotoMath gives you a message to add the numbers to get 16. But for something more complex, you may have step by step. You're more likely to have step by step solutions. So let's take a look at another problem. And so if you could see a few minutes ago, if there's a message, well, if there's a problem that's not accurate, so 5 plus 5 isn't 7. So PhotoMath says not true. So that gives you a hint that's not the correct answer. And you can see it keeps populating different responses. So we now have the correct response. And I'm on an iPhone, so that's why the phone keeps going to sleep. All right, so if we click on 5 plus 5 equals 10, once that comes back around, there we are. You can see PhotoMath again is saying to add the numbers. So I'm just going to click on that down arrow where 5 plus 5 is. And again, you'll see add the numbers, and then 10 is selected as the answer. So say a student wanted to send these answers to themselves. If they're working on supplemental problems, they can do so by using this key here, where they can share the information to their message, their email, Facebook, Twitter, whatever they're using, notes, and they all have these answers and steps with them. So let's see what PhotoMath does when we have not a worksheet, but a problem that we're working on, that we've written out. So here we have the square root of 4. Okay. And so we have our answer. We're going to click on the arrow. And so you have more steps here for your square root of 4. So if I could push the down arrow for the square root of 4, it says write the expression in exponential form. Then it says reduce the index of the radical and exponent with 2. So that gives the student or the user a little bit more information. So let's try another problem that's a little more complex. So it said it couldn't solve this problem. However, it has, let's see if it can see it well enough. I'm gonna go off screen, so I might be looking off screen. I'm just gonna put this on a flatter surface. So in this instance, the problem was solved previously when I tested it out, and now getting the response that it cannot solve the problem. So that's something to consider when using PhotoMath. Its consistency may not be 100% reliable. So let's take a look at PhotoMath. And it looks like we finally have our solution. But let me show you the steps that it took. So initially it was saying that it could not find the answer for this problem, but I had tried it before and it worked. So here we can see the solutions to our problem and the step-by-steps. And so as we go down the arrows, we can get detailed information on how to solve the problems. And there you have it. And so this is a good tool, not just for students, but for parents as well, who may not remember how to help their students with a particular math problem. And so this is a good tool for them as well. So let's take a look at our calculator view, where we're going to actually input information into PhotoMath. So let's try an exponent. Let's do 9. All right, and so we get our answer. We can see here, A1, it's telling the individual to evaluate the power. Now, a student would need to know how to do that. So this isn't going to be a tool that teaches every step and the concepts. It does allow students to have an idea of the steps of solving problems, but students, again, will need to master the content of the course material. So that completes our view of PhotoMath, a free iOS application for iPhones. Thank you.